2026 Italian American Man of the Year, Roger Steele.
Thank you. First of all, I want to say right up front, I'm of course only half Italian. I'm half Italian and half Hungarian, but I'm Italian from the waist down. This is a vitally important time in American history. I tell you, as a veteran of 50 years in the corroded rectum of the two-party system, that what we're seeing unfold before our eyes are not just politics as usual, a fight between Republicans and Democrats in which underneath everybody really is in on the same scam. Now what we see today unfolded is a fight between good and evil, between dark and light, between the godly and the godless. And if we fail, this country will step off into 1,000 years of darkness. You hear about political activity among Cuban Americans and Chinese Americans and African Americans, but you don't hear about political activity among Italian Americans. You know what subgroup of voters gave Donald Trump a higher percentage of vote than any other in the country? Italian American males. And unfortunately, after the most incredible comeback in American political history, some Americans began to believe, well, maybe all our problems were solved now. They don't understand the depth of corruption in a corrupt two-party system, which the party of endless foreign war, the party of incredible national debt, the party of the police state, that party is deeply ingrained, and they don't intend to go away easily. We beat them before, and we will beat them again, but only if everyone here understands that you are part of this battle. So it's great that you all joined the American Civil Rights League, but how many other members have you signed up? How many others have you educated about our mission? Because let's be very clear, they wish to erase us entirely. They don't want to acknowledge the extraordinary contributions that Italian Americans have made to make this country great. They don't want to acknowledge the role that Italian Americans played working with the FBI to destroy the Nazis in World War II. They don't want you to know about that. Hell, they don't even want you to know that Napoleon wasn't French, he was actually Italian. Bonaparte. He didn't speak French until he was 23 years old. Trust me, no Frenchman could conquer the world. Corsica, at the time of Napoleon's birth, is controlled by Italy. Napoleon Bonaparte is an Italian. That's a fact. The French don't love it when I bring that up. So look, I'm particularly honored to be with you tonight. As I think most of you know, I went through hell. Simply because I was a friend of Donald Trump. When the machine decided to try to lynch him, to try to remove him in an illegal coup, and they invented the Russian collusion hoax, they somehow thought that after they lied to two federal judges telling them that they had probable cause to charge me for treason, conspiracy against the United States, counterfeiting, you like that one? Like counterfeiting, money laundering, aiding and abetting, before and after the fact, unauthorized access to a government computer. When they could find no evidence of any of those crimes, they offered me a deal. You can avoid jail, all you've got to do is testify falsely against Donald Trump. They must have thought I was Michael Cohen or something. They had the wrong guy, because that was never going to happen. I remember it very distinctly. I went down to the Justice Department with my lawyers, and they'd been through 1 million emails and text messages, and this guy pushes this piece of paper across the table and says, all you gotta do is sign this or look at it. And I said, all you've gotta do is shove this up your ass. I have no regrets. It has been very difficult. I think some of you know that the government tries to break you financially as a way to try to get you to cooperate and testify falsely against others. We lost our home, our savings, our insurance. I lost my ability to make a living, because I make a living by writing and speaking. A judge placed me under an unconstitutional federal gag. I couldn't even defend myself in public. And it wasn't until election night of 2020 at midnight that the U.S. Justice Department, due to a lawsuit by BuzzFeed, was forced to release the full, unredacted copy of Robert Mueller's final report. My lawyers had requested this at trial, and the judge said no, she wouldn't give it to us. She would read the sections relevant to us in her chambers and give them to us. Funny, she forgot page 178, which says they found no evidence of Russian collusion, WikiLeaks collaboration, or any other crime on my part. So I have been completely and totally vindicated, but it is only through my prayers to God Almighty that He would enlighten the president, so the president understood that I was being persecuted not because I did anything wrong, but because I refused to bear false witness against him. I have no regrets, and God delivered me. I am redeemed in the blood of the cross. I am, as Mike said, I'm a bit of an expert on elections. I'm a veteran of 13 national presidential elections, over 700 elections at all levels. I'm a student of politics. Politics is a science. There's very little guessing. We base our strategic, multi-million-dollar decisions on very sophisticated polling information and other survey research. And I can tell you that we are still in a majority in this country, if you only count those of us who are really citizens. And those who say, oh, the 2026 election's over, the Republicans will surely lose, that is impossible to know. Our politics are extraordinarily volatile. Now, as we saw, for example, the events in Butler, Pennsylvania, completely changed the political atmosphere and outlook almost overnight. War can also do this. But I want to point out that there is a huge difference between what we have seen under this president and what we've seen under our more recent presidents. What you've seen under Donald Trump is a very limited, focused, yet extraordinarily lethal use of American power. No boots on the ground, no hundreds of thousands of casualties, no big contracts for Halliburton and General Dynamics and the rest of the defense contractors. The projected use of American power. He is not an isolationist. He's still a non-interventionist. But right now I can tell you one thing. Assholes are puckering in Cuba right now. The president needs your help in these upcoming elections. Take nothing for granted. If you don't spread the word, if you don't register others, if you don't sign others up in this important grassroots organization, if you take things for granted, all of these great accomplishments, stopping the boys from playing in girls' sports, just for example, can be reversed overnight. So, listen, I believe, as my mentor Richard Nixon said, a man is not finished when he's defeated. He's only finished when he quits. Until one has been in the deepest valley, one cannot appreciate the majesty of the highest mountaintop. In the fight for America, in the fight for the Constitution, in the fight for freedom, I, for one, will never quit. Thank you.